Hi guys, this is Mark Shawson, the Pattern Trader here, and just in a moment I'm going to show you how I made $16,000 on a trade in the stock market in just a few minutes. This represented over 13% return on invested capital in about half hour after I put on this transaction. But before I show you the transaction, I always like to show you exactly what I'm doing, make everything transparent. I know there's a lot of skeptics out there, and so I'm actually opening up my own private account here. I have an account at Merrill Edge. One of my accounts is at Merrill Edge in the United States under my name with this current account balance. So now I'm going to show you a trade that I did in this account that yielded me $16,000 or 13% on invested capital in just a few minutes. In this screenshot, I'm showing you a trade that I did in my Merrill Edge account a few days ago in the ticker symbol CULP, whereas I shorted 4,000 shares at a price of about $30.70 and covered it a few minutes later, 13% lower, for a total profit of $16,000 in my account in just a few minutes. So this again is a copy of my live statement from my Merrill Edge account, whereas I shorted the stock of CULP at an average price of 30.77 and covered it 13% lower at 26.65. and netted over $16,000 profit. Now I'm going to show you on the chart exactly what I was looking at and the time that I did it and how I was able to reap these profits. This is a long-term 2-year chart of the ticker symbol CULP. And in this chart, I discerned that there was a long-term head and shoulders bear price pattern that ultimately would dictate that the primary move in this stock, CULP, would ultimately be lower. Now, there was a precipitating event that I shorted the stock right here at $30.70 and then covered it about an hour later in the extended market session at $26.65. I made over $16,000 on this trade, or a 13% return on my investment in just a few minutes. And again, it was this long-term head and shoulders, where we have the head, the left shoulder, the right shoulder, that ultimately led me to the conclusion that there was only one way for the stock to go. And then I waited for one precipitating event to time my trade that I put it on at the exact time before the stock fell out of bed. And you can see here again, I shorted the stock around $30.70, and a few minutes later it was trading in the aftermarket around $26, and I was able to cover my trade 13% in my favor, or $16,000 in just a few minutes. Now, admittedly, any trading strategy, any methodology, especially one like this that is predicated on exact timing, is not foolproof. And I certainly don't win on each trade. But as you can see, I win so much on the average trade that even if I have a number of losers, even 50% losers, my average win is 4 to 6 times my average loss. So even if I lost 50% of these trades, I still come out with a huge profit, and in fact I win a lot better than the 50% thus far employing this strategy. I'm going to be sharing this with you in a special webinar tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Before I go, I just want to show you one of my losing trades, and then I'm actually going to show you a trade that is going to move 5 to 10% after the webinar on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So you're going to want to show up for that, because in addition to revealing a strategy that shows you where I can make 4 to 6 times my average investment. Yesterday I showed you a trade that I made $203,000 in a matter of minutes employing this strategy. And then again, in tomorrow's session after the webinar, there is going to be a stock that will move 5 to 10%. And I'm going to share that strategy and where I think that particular stock is going in tomorrow's webinar. So please stand by. In this chart, I'm going to show you an example where the strategy I employed, both with regard to timing and coinciding with a catalytic event, did not work in my favor. In this particular chart, I'm looking at the ticker symbol SPOT. This is the stock of Spotify, the radio network. And at the time I entered the trade, I was looking at this primary double bottom pattern. Based on this double bottom, I concluded that the stock would continue to go higher. And it was at this point, before a precipitating event, that I bought the stock at this price and ultimately had to cover my stock lower. I lost about $12,000 on this particular trade. But as you can see, that double bottom did indicate that the ultimate trend was higher. And after I liquidated my trade, this stock did go higher. But right after it, I did lose money. So this is not a bulletproof strategy. I do lose on certain trades. But as you saw from yesterday, I made $203,000 on one trade in just a few minutes. And that obviously makes up for a lot of losing trades. So this is a portfolio approach. It's designed to win over time and win big. And it's not to say that there won't be any losers along the way. This is a chart of a company that I believe will move 5 to 10%. And tomorrow I'm going to share with you my analysis of this chart